I took my business and marketing background and said, if I can help builders run their businesses better, improve their absorption rates, improve their profit margins on their houses, then that would be my competitive advantage over all the other real estate agents.
So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Welcome back, Rockstar Nation. This is Matt Templeton, and I'm here today with Wyatt Graves. And we're talking about his real estate team and some of the other projects he's working on. Wyatt, go ahead and give us a quick introduction. Tell us who you are.
Hey, thanks, Matt, for having me. So it's Wyatt Graves, and I am the team leader of a real estate team that's brokered inside of Keller Williams Greater Baton Rouge Market Center. And the name of my team is Kaizen Home Sales and Services.
Okay, awesome. So Baton Rouge, Kaizen Home Sales. And tell me a little bit about the background of your team. How long have you guys been in business?
Yep, so we launched our team in January of 2018. I actually have been in the real estate sales world since just outside of high school. So this year actually makes my 20th year of being a licensed agent. I was always with a small independent firm until I joined Keller Williams in 2018.
Awesome. Now, tell me about your sales. How well did you guys do in 2019? What did 2018 look like? What is that?
So you mean 2019?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So 2019, look, the numbers are roughly coming in. We've been through sort of it was a natural disaster in 2016, and actually stepped out of real estate to handle the after effects of that disaster, which over 100,000 houses and businesses flooded in South Louisiana in August of 2016. And so really I came back into the real estate world late 2017 and launched this team in 2018 from scratch, really. And man, we've been sort of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. We've been through several people on our team. And so compiling our numbers has been a bit of a challenge with turnover in my administrative department, but nonetheless, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 112 units. It looks like I think 41 of those were resale, 71 of those were new construction, and our average sales price is around $200,000 to $210,000.
So you started this team back in 2018. You've been working in real estate for a while. 2016 hits and some changes happen because of a natural disaster. And I want to dig into that in just a second. But I just want to honor you. In 2 years, you built this business back up to 112 units in this team. That's amazing. And of that, I also want to dig into in just a second the new home piece. So you worked with builders, and we'll dig into that. So tell me what happened in 2016 in Southern Louisiana.
So funny story is that I was at Mega Camp for KW, and I've been the broker of an independent real estate company that was owned by a builder, a small tract builder, if you will. We sold anywhere from 60 to 95 houses a year just for that builder. And then that business allowed me to grow to represent other builders as well. And so we were doing a lot of new construction development. We did a lot of new construction houses. And up until 2016, I really represented just builders for the most part as the listing agent. And then I had a couple of agents that worked within our brokerage that represented buyers and resale listing houses, if you will. But the team really consisted of two administrative folks and myself. One was a licensed agent that worked as sort of the assistant, and then one was over all the office administration and things of that nature. So historically, leading up to 2016, which was going to be a record year, by the way, in a lot of areas, the flood happened in August of 2016. I think we called it the Great Flood of 2016. But historically, I would sell around 100 to 125 houses a year, from anywhere from $22, $23 million to $24, $25 million in production, with just my two office folks and those other agents that sort of help support new construction, but also had their own book of business.
Okay, awesome. So in 2016, there was a great flood of southern Louisiana, and I've heard this in other natural disasters, but when major disasters happen like this, business sort of shuts down. So what happened to your business? What happened to the builders and everything that was happening around you?
Yeah, we could probably talk a lot about that, but it was total devastation for us. Every one of the new construction developments that we had houses going in flooded. We were going to have, August was going to be a record month, actually, of closings, and literally every development and every new construction house that we had, and I say there was very few outliers that did not flood, but for the most part, the entire book of business, every pending contract that we had flooded. The builders, the subcontractors, their screwdrivers, their hammers, their saws, their utility trailers, their vehicles, their personal homes, they all flooded. And so for a few weeks, even months, we didn't know how we were going to rebuild our houses, right? And one of the interesting things about being a production building is that our profit margins, they weren't substantial. And so with the flood, which, by the way, happened in many areas that weren't supposed to flood, right? They weren't considered to be in a flood zone, so therefore they didn't have flood insurance. So the cost to remedy the house in many cases exceeded what would have been profit margin in the house. So you go from showing up to closings as a builder to receive a check, and now you've got to write one, right? So you take that without the builders, without knowing what's going to happen in the future with builders and the subcontractors coming back, and then you take out that builder's buying power, right? Not only are they not going to make profit on that book of business that was being built, but now they don't even have, they're actually writing checks to get them sold, which is taking money out of their checkbook to allow them to continue expanding and start new developments and start new projects. So it was a lot of uncertainty, to say the least.
Wow. Yeah. And that's crazy. I don't even know, what do you do to dig out of that? I mean, what did you do with your real estate business at that point? You have no sales, you've got more expenses than you have income coming in. What was your strategy?
Well, that's where the real fortune and opportunity came to me, and just being a general business-minded person. I started selling real estate right out of high school, and it was really my college job. I got a degree in business management and entrepreneurship, and sort of that was always my approach to everything in life is, what's the business model that we need to have to make this work? And I had opened many other businesses along along my career. I have been in the childcare business for just as long as I've been in the real estate business, and opened and ran other small businesses. As such, there was an opportunity to go and work with a dental assisting school and expand their locations across the country. The owner of that school happened to be my neighbor, who was a dentist, and I had been working out with him and the CEO of that business for many months leading up to the flood. And our workout sessions, they would train me right physically at the gym, because they were both a lot more knowledgeable than me. And then I would coach them on how to grow their business. And so we sort of had that relationship already in the making, so that after the flood, it worked out to where I got hired on to go work for them, planning their dental assisting schools across the country. So that started in November of 2016, just after the flood. And I think we went from 12 locations of their school to, we may have hit 32 actual opportunities. I'm not sure if they all ended up working out, but we grew a lot in that 10-month span that I worked for them, but literally took a step out of real estate just because, you know, we lost every pending contract. We lost every listing. And so we had to do something to supplement our income just to keep things going, plus rebuild our own house and rebuild all the things that we lost. We had the property and HOA management company that was in an office building like 7,700 square feet, and it had 5 feet of water in it. And we had to rebuild that and relocate all of those employees and work through that, plus work through all the properties we managed, all the homeowners associations that we managed. So it was a bit of a chore. So I took that job to just have a steady, consistent opportunity while we sort of regathered our thoughts to regroup for the next season of our life.
You know, I think there's a lesson here, and our listeners can associate and feel that. I think we've all been at a point, at the low point in our life, when everything seems against us, we're in a hole, and we've got to figure out a way. And I think that's a great story.
Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Reed. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom. Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. This certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents, on how to build a team from 0 to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course, plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. All for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Reed did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com. Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Pat Hyben, and before we jump back into today's content, I want to tell you about an extraordinary offer from an extraordinary company. I'm talking about My Outdesk. If you haven't heard of My Outdesk, basically they're a virtual assistant company, a VA company that specializes in virtual assistants for real estate agents. Yeah, I'm talking about transaction coordinators, marketing assistants. I'm talking about ISAs, inside sales agents that prospect thousands and thousands of seller leads and buyer lead follow-ups. I mean, these guys are trained in this stuff specifically. You're not using a company that doesn't know or understand real estate sales. 4 out of 5 of the top teams in the US use My Outdesk for their virtual assistants. And because I know the owner, Daniel Ramsey, I've known him for over a decade, and I know how awesome and incredible this company is and how it saves agents thousands and thousands of dollars every single week and makes them thousands and thousands of more every single week. We are going to give you a $400 coupon off of your first month of a virtual assistant and give you a free book entitled Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. So you can read it and look into it before you decide anything. It's called Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And you can get it real easy. All you got to do is text the word HIBAN, H-I-B-A-N, to 31996. That's H-I-B-A-N to 31996. And download your free book, Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And don't forget to mention also that you get a $400 discount, which will give you a coupon for that when you download the book. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy and make a ton of money using my Outdesk.
I mean, you've had all this success in real estate. You sold all these houses, and tragedy strikes that's outside of your control, and then you just go make it work, and you figure out how to make it come together. And I think oftentimes, Rockstar Nation, you guys are experiencing this as well. In the middle of your real estate career, there are times where you hit ceilings or you hit low points or something happens, and you have to figure out, am I going to do this or am I not? What am I going to do to make this all come together? So I appreciate that story. Going back to your, after you get out of the flood and after you get back into real estate, 2018, you relaunch a real estate business, you go back into new home sales again, you really start representing builders. Tell me, and I kind of stole the answer, but tell me a little bit more about where your business comes from. What are the lead sources or the sources that you're getting your business for your real estate team?
So just to go back just a few steps. So the week of the flood, Keller Williams was having their annual mega agent conference in Austin, Texas. And so I was there exploring opportunities to bring the independent brokerage into the KW world so that we could start a team and that we could start representing the buyer leads that came through from all the new construction, right? So for those numbers that I quoted, the 100, 125 units a year, that was all new construction listings, and we represented very few buyers. We would always just farm those out to the co-op agents and let the co-op agents work that. So it was always my intent from that point to come back and build a team. So my track record and the historical production that I've always had to hang my hat on came from representing builders. And that really came from probably 15 years ago. I didn't want to pick up the phone and make cold calls. I think we can all relate to that, especially if you weren't sure what to say, especially 15 years ago. I wouldn't have known what to say other than, hey, I'm a realtor and I want to sell your house. So in an attempt to avoid that, I took my business and marketing background and said, if I can help builders run their businesses better, improve their absorption rates, improve their profit margins on their houses, then that would be my competitive advantage over all the other real estate agents. And as such, they would sell more houses. They would build more houses. And so I really focused in on new construction at that point and made builders my backbone to the business that I've had. So coming out of the flood, taking that dental assisting gig, I just realized, and I came to accept too, Matt, that I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a visionary, and I am crazy, right? Like I'm not gonna, I hate the status quo. I always want to challenge rules and systems, and I want to go at the speed of light. And so I just came to accept that, that's just who I am, and I'm born to be that way, and I'm going to embrace that trait about me of being an entrepreneur. So in July of 2017, around about that time, I decided that I would go back and launch a real estate team at Keller Williams, and that it would be rooted on building relationships, right? That it would be rooted in helping the community live the life that they want, and coaching them, teaching them, and providing relevant, timely value to the community at large, and that would become the basis from which I would generate leads for a real estate machine, if you will. So January of 2018, we launched my team, and my team is called Kaizen Home Sales and Services. which Kaizen is a Japanese proverb or saying that stands for continual improvement. And so, man, we see that. We see ourselves offering continual improvement in the community from the things that sort of drive me and my passion to help others, especially young adults and young parents from being in the child care industry. Early childhood education and early childhood development is really important to me, and helping others do a good job at that. So we see Kaizen right in that space, but then we also see Kaizen being applied to new construction and to our builders. A lot of our builders are mom and pop builders. They're not national builders. So that's really where the opportunity has always provided itself to us, in that we're enabling smaller builders to maintain their competitive edge in a market where there's such competition with regional and national builders. And we can talk about that in a little bit, but Kaizen can be applied to that, and then it also can be applied to the people that work on our team, right? So you join the Kaizen team, we're real big on helping you find clarity around where you want to go, and then providing a path of coaching and tools and resources and relationships that help you get there. So we launched Kaizen Home Sales and Services in 2018 and have been running like crazy ever since.
Yeah, and I can hear in that a really beautiful vision for your community, for your clients, for the people that work on your team. Each person has a role in how you're helping them both get that never-ending improvement, and also how you're giving back to your community. I love that beautiful vision. And thinking specifically about the clients you're working with, or specifically in the builders, what are you doing to, obviously you're pitching that vision, what are you doing to attract them? What are you saying that they're saying, I absolutely want to work with you, you're the best person to represent me and list my new builds? What are you saying?
I think it's not a matter of what I'm saying as much as it is a matter of what I'm asking, right? So I'm asking the builders, where are you going, right? So you built 15 houses last year. Is that all you want to build, or do you want to build 50? Do you want to build 500, right? So I think that those questions about vision are so applicable to everybody in every space that we come into contact, right? So if it's recruiting talent to our team, or recruiting a builder, or even a buyer or a seller, what's the end game? Where are you headed? And for our builders, when I start to ask them questions about, where they want to go in 5 years from now, many of them don't have a clear vision of where they want to go in 5 years from now. Just like everybody else that struggles with finding clarity around where do they want to be in 5 years from now or 20 years from now. And by asking those questions, that in and of itself is our edge, right? Because most people don't think that way, and it's not a matter of where the builder or the client wants to go, but most people approach builders with all they can do, right? The feature. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. But we've got to take time to find out what the builder wants. And hey, for some builders, they don't fit in our world. They don't share the same vision that we do, which is fine, right? But by asking those questions, we find out who's going to be in alignment with what we offer to builders and to the new construction community. And then it usually is a good fit.
That's beautiful. And everything that we're studying and seeing right now and teaching our agents, it's about creating experiences for the clients. Like, what are the custom experiences that the client is experiencing? And what I hear you saying is that a consultative approach is the best way to get them in alignment with you, or to even understand how to serve them or give them the experience they want. And it's naturally attracting to those leads, right? They want to be with somebody who sees them as, or that acts as an advisor to them, and sees a way to help them get better. So I love that consultative approach. So you're asking them questions about where they want to go. What nitty-gritty details would someone need to understand in the building world to be able to provide these types of consultations to the builders?
Well, in terms of where are you headed, right? I love what Jay Papazan and Jeff Woods are doing over at The One Thing with Gary's book, in terms of what's called the goal setting to the now, right? Like, I've become, well, I shouldn't say I've become, I am on a journey and a path of mastering the goal setting to the now process. And there's a lot of free content that your listeners can go online at theonething.com and download to just start having the conversation with themselves. And then being able to share that with their clients, especially if they want to get into business with the builders. And that's just walking them through the goal setting to the now process. But as such, you got to know the market, right? You got to know the market. You've got to be an expert. When you tell a builder, hey, I want you to go spend $1 million or $500,000 or $5 million on this development, and we want to build this product, this square footage with these amenities at this price point. And, oh, by the way, I think the absorption rate will be, whatever we think it will be. So, and look, you don't have to be the expert in that, right? You just have to know somebody that is, right? You're just the facilitator. You're just the agent. You're just the connector. So if you can partner with a local appraiser in your town that is, I'm going to say more so than just the average appraiser, but somebody that is running an appraisal firm, right, where they have a team of researchers and a team of market analysis folks that can help you, right, understand what the absorption rate is, where there's some holes in the market, and then you go find the dirt and present it to those builders who have a clear vision for their own systems of wanting to scale, right, wanting to grow so that your team and your system at your real estate sales office can meet those needs.
I love that. So attract the clients through a consultative method, find out what they want, and then go solve their need by knowing the data, looking for actual dirt. And I heard that very tactical message right there that I want the listeners to hear. If you go find the dirt for the builders based on where they want to go and based on what the stats say is the next opportunity, they're going to give you opportunities to list their property if you're the one that's helping their business grow and find those connections. I love that.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift. As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hibandigital.com/toolbox or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox.
If you have the dirt, it's almost guaranteed that you'll get the listings for whatever that dirt brings, right? You go get the dirt, secure it, and then bring it to 3 to 5 different builders and say, hey, this is what the vision for this. Here's the reason why I know it will work. They will more than likely list with you, and you would have to fail miserably to lose that opportunity.
I have a couple last questions for you, and then I want to get into some of your new projects and what you're working on. But real fast, what would you give a rookie agent? Actually, in fact, what would you tell yourself if you were a rookie agent? What's the one piece of advice you would give yourself in that position?
That's a good segue question into what you just mentioned you want to talk about. It's all about the who. It's all about the who. So it's finding a tribe of people that are already where you want to be. That's it. And then go befriend them, go get into some kind of relationship with them, and just start at the very least going to the same meetings, right? Getting on the same calls with them, because you'll hear the way they converse with people. You'll hear key words, you'll hear key concepts, you'll hear strategies, and you will start to become like them. I really, really believe that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so it's really about getting into relationships with the right who's to get you where you want to be.
That's a great answer. And it's ironic because we met and connected through a tribe or through a group of individuals that were on a wealth building journey and are on a wealth building journey in a healthy, wealthy, wise tribe called GoBundance. Our listeners have heard of GoBundance before. In fact, if you're interested in hearing more about GoBundance, you might check out the new book, Tribe of Millionaires. You can get it on Amazon. It talks about that journey of being around and who you put yourself around and what the lessons you can learn by surrounding yourself with people that are higher thinkers and pushing you to be a better person. But I'm curious, specifically in this journey you're on, who are you surrounding yourself with? Obviously, you have GoBundance, you have Keller Williams. What are the various tribes or groups of people that you're surrounding yourself with to up-level yourself in your real estate career?
Yeah, for sure. So in July of 2017, the whole sort of manifestation of the decision to get back into real estate was started because I found Jeff Woods. And you know who Jeff Woods is. He's the vice president of The One Thing, which is just a great movement and community of being intentional, right? And prioritizing what matters most. And they were having their first annual goal setting retreat. And at the same time, that November, right? And at the same time that I found Jeff and The One Thing, I also found Jeff and the Mentee podcast. And that's where he was really just doubling down on that notion that I just mentioned, that, we credit Jim Rohn for the quote that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I joined the Mentee podcast and the Inner Circle Network with Jeff Woods, and then I registered for the One Thing goal setting retreat. And so I doubled down there and I upgraded my pass to the VIP pass so that I could be among people who were really intentional about setting goals. And so I went to that retreat in November of 2016. I met 2 folks there that were also part of Jeff's Inner Circle, and they invited me to apply for Jeff's mastermind with the Inner Circle that was going to happen that following February. So I applied for the mastermind, and I got in, right? And I went totally, just completely on a leap of faith. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was the largest class training mastermind. I mean, I didn't even know what a mastermind weekend was, but I just knew that it was going to have some people that I needed to be in a relationship with. So I went, and there I met John Broman, who's a part of the GoBundance tribe with us. And I met Justin Donald. I just saw that he was featured on, I think, entrepreneur.com and advertising some of his wealth and successes that he's made. But I met some incredible people there and became buds with Jeff Woods. And then that led to literally being invited by David Osborne to GoBundance. GoBundance has provided a lot of content and classes and conversations, right? And connections with other people that are helping us even in my own real estate world, such as folks that have mastered the brokerage work of mobile home parks. And so now I've got builders and investors that I'm able to have high level conversations with vetting deals based on the calls and conversations that I get to have with people from the GoBundance world. But that's led me to starting Kaizen, right? Being around and in business with Jeff Woods around the mentee. I also met Abe Shreve and became a MAPS business coach, right? And that community has led to a whole lot of exceptional leaders in business that shape everything that I do on a daily basis with our coaching calls that we have through MAPS business coaching and Abe's world. So you take Jeff Woods, you take the GoBundance guys and Pat and Abe Shreve, and then that's led to me being at the Market Center with Chuck Roberts. And Chuck Roberts is our regional director, right? He's one of 31 or 32 people that get to work with Gary Keller. And he owns our Market Center, and he's in our office. So I get to have conversations with Chuck Roberts often, right? In terms of helping me build the real estate business that I'm on the journey to build.
So tell me, and actually let me just verify or sum up something you said that I really appreciate it. It's all about relationships, and the relationships that you choose to put around you, and the relationships that those people tend to introduce you to, and who you become as a process of those relationships. Now, I know that you've gotten some other opportunities through these relationships. What's next for you? What you're working, you still got Kaizen, you've still got these other builders you're working with and other cool projects. What's next on the horizon for 2020?
I'm really excited about what's on the horizon for 2020. Last year, when Jeff Woods took over, as Jeff Woods got fully involved with the One Thing world, he had to put the Mentee podcast and the Inner Circle membership-based community on shelf. And just rubbing shoulders with him and those guys and those folks in that community, it just really started to reveal itself as an opportunity. So I texted Jeff and I said, hey, if you ever want to think about taking the Mentee off of the shelf and you're looking for a new host, I'd be interested in that conversation. And maybe that was a year ago, if not sooner than a year ago. And so that started a series of conversations that ultimately led to me purchasing the Mentee and the Inner Circle from Jeff, and him helping me this year relaunch the Mentee podcast and the Inner Circle membership-based community. And Matt, man, I'm super fired up about that, because that takes my vision for Kaizen home sales and Kaizen community and pouring value into the community. It enables me to do that on a whole new level. And so, and even coupled back in with the One Thing and the 7 circles, right? And just helping people find clarity around what's most important to them. So we're going to be launching the Mentee podcast, relaunching the Mentee podcast in the next 30 days. And we're going to relaunch the Inner Circle Mastermind community, of course, with Jeff's help. And I've got some really, really phenomenal guests lined up to be on the show and just sort of rebirth that. And I'm looking forward to what opportunities those relationships and those conversations will lead to. And I'm really looking forward to the people that join the show and the mastermind community and find clarity around what's most important for them, and to really see them start to crush their goals, whatever they are, right? We'll talk about key relationships, business goals, finance goals, goals with your job, physical goals, spiritual goals, personal goals. As I mentioned earlier, parenting is a passion of mine, and even the foster community is important. So we'll be addressing various categories of goals, right? Not just real estate and not just wealth building, but just sort of approaching the whole gamut of what may matter most to different people. we'll be approaching that with the Mentee podcast with our guests and the Inner Circle memberships for sure.
Awesome. Now, as always, we have a free gift for our listeners. And so I'd love for you to share what's the free gift that they can get by signing up on our website.
Yep. So we're going to supply you guys and the listeners with a guide, 7 steps to building the good life. And I always start off by asking people, you know, what's the good life? Or people ask me, what's the good life? And the question is really for you. You decide what's the good life, right? You decide what the good life is. And so the guide is all about walking you through the step-by-step process to help you get clarity, right, around what does your good life look like. And then identifying key people that are already crushing it at a high level, and then connecting you with a plan to help you get into relationship with some of those folks so that you can start to live your good life.
Awesome. Now, if somebody would like to connect with you or send a referral to Baton Rouge, where can they find you? How can they communicate with you?
Yep. So they can email me, and my email is Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T, at KaizenHomesales.com, K-A-I-Z-E-N, homesales.com. And, you know, they may not get an instant response, but I'll see it and I'll be in touch with them for sure. You can look us up on the internet too, where KaizenHomesales.com is our website. I'd be happy to help anybody that is interested in exploring how we have really helped our builders compete in the new construction world.
And of course, check out the Mentee podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. There's a whole slew of old interviews with Jeff, and hopefully new interviews coming soon, I hear, with Wyatt. So that's awesome. Wyatt, we really appreciate you. Wyatt Graves here with Kaizen Home Sales. Thank you so much for our conversation today. And we look forward to talking to you more in the future.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate you.
Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get, so please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.